I finally got a job offer, as you can see in my previous video. And the question that I have been asked a lot is that how does the job market look like here in Saskatchewan, like in Saskatoon in general? And so in this video, I would like to break down the job market here and like what kind of job that are mostly higher and what are the industries and all stuff like that. But before we begin, I would like to give a little bit of a history of how long did it take me to get a job. To apply for a job as long as I arrived here, and I first applied to many jobs, but I did not get any response, like no response at all. And then, well, actually it was a little bit special in my case because it's a bit challenging for me since the government of Saskatchewan has put 25% caps in certain industry, which means I have to avoid those industry in order to get my job approval letter to be approved so that I can apply for SINP. And so I was being very selective in looking for the employer that could help me with the JAL job that is not under the cap. But in total though, I did not apply to like a crazy number, 100 or 200 jobs. I did around, in total, probably 40 to 50 jobs that I applied to. And then after 1 month and a half, I got 3 response, and I did all the interview for that 3 positions, but I got 1 offer, and that was the perfect jobs that could ever given me in these situations. So I got a perfect job. It's not under the cap, and my employer is very understanding about giving a job approval letter and stuff. So yeah, I am really grateful for this. Okay, so first thing first, these are all the information that I have learned and I have researched during the time that I was applying for my job. So I am not an expert, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. If you ask me, is it hard to get a job here? I would say yes and no. Because even though I know people here would say, oh, it's really hard to get a job right now, our unemployment rate is really high and this and that. But I do believe that if you have the right skill for the right job market, and if you put your time, energy, and effort in applying for the job, and if you know how to apply to them effectively, I believe you get a job. Toronto is a different story. Toronto is overcrowded. If you have the right skill for the right job market in Toronto, it is almost impossible to get a job without referrals. All of the jobs that I have in Toronto, I got them through the connections, people that I know, and they refer me to the job. At my workplace, we were literally understaffed, but they didn't want to post like hiring online. They would ask people if they know any people that they are looking for a job, so they would hire people that they know, and they were willing to train them. And when I came here, I did not have any connections at all. I applied for job organically and just keep applying and applying. I eventually got a job. So my point is that it's not as hard to get a job here as much as in Toronto. Okay, starting with our main point today, job market in Saskatchewan, like in Saskatoon in general. At a glance, the biggest industries here would be agriculture and mining. I know it's very broad to mention like very detailed about every industry, so I want to categorize them and tackle the key highlights so it's easier to understand. Starting with the biggest industry would be mining, energy, and natural resources, because Saskatchewan is world's largest potash producer and uraniums. These are the key employer. Nutrients, K plus S Potash, Carmichael, SaskPower, and so from the industry, these are the roles that are very high in demand. Mining engineer, mechanical engineer, geologist, electrical engineer, and environmental specialist. From these roles, there are also different roles in the company like accounting, finance, laborers, and other kind of role that I cannot list. So the second biggest would be agriculture and agri-bio processing. Saskatoon is surrounded by fertile land where they support all the crops grow, and they mostly do like wheat and canola, and these are the biggest employer in this industry. Tara, Post, Canada, Calgary, Richardson's International. The roles in this would be farm manager, food process engineer, quality control specialists, and of course other roles as well. But I would say this role like really high in demand, that's why I list them here. I think the third one would be healthcare. Healthcare is basically very high in demand everywhere across Canada anyway. And if you are working in healthcare, I do believe that you are not unemployed right now, right? They do have some big hospitals here they can work in, and other clinics. They take a lot of small clinics. And I have come across a lot of job posts about healthcare, and if you are actually unemployed, I think you can come here and you can get a job easily. Moving on to the constructions and skill trade, I would say this industry is pretty good because people are moving here and the economy is growing, and the need for building houses, apartments, and other like high-rise building is still in demand. Essential skill and role are always in demand, like carpenter, plumber, electricians. So moving on to educations and research, we have University of Saskatchewan and Saskatchewan Polytechs are the two biggest institutions here, and there are also a lot of different colleges, high school and elementary school, and like it's a lot more school. So I would say that there will be like a good demand here for jobs like for teachers and instructor and stuff, because the number of the kids are growing, number of people are growing, so they do need people in that industry right now. So the next one would be retail, accommodation, and food services. Retail, just like usual, we have malls, we have a lot of stores here, so the need for retailer and sales associate, customer representative, as well as store supervisor, store manager are still there. But I would say they limit the number of employee in the store, because there wouldn't be a time that there are so many customers coming at the same time, right? Not like in the big city. So they're like good amounts and really depend on the season as well. Food services, yes, we have restaurants, we have fast food chains like McDonald's, Tim Hortons, and all of different kind of food. So the need for server, the need for customer service, cook, store supervisor, food manager are still there, but they just limit the number like I said in the previous one. Accommodations, hospitality, since Saskatchewan is not like a big place for tourists, so I think the tourism industry is not very thriving. But yes, there are still hotels for people who pass by, and so there are still jobs in hospitality, but the opportunity isn't just a lot, like very few. About technology and innovations, I would say that there are not a lot of opportunities like in the big city, like in Toronto, because there are not many big tech company in Saskatchewan, but you still can work for different industry, like for mining and for energy industry, like farming, like I mentioned in the beginning. And yes, they do hire for software engineer and developer and all that, but just not like specifically in the tech industry. I would say the same go for finance and banking, since we don't have like a big corporation office for the big 5 banks in Canada. Well, there is one for RBC Wealth Management in downtown, but other than that, we only have like regional branches for all the banks here and a few big insurance company here. So job like teller and banking advisor are still here, but not very high in demand, I would say, because Toronto is like a financial hub and they have their own financial district, and all of the big like wealth management roles and like security management and all the risk management and everything is probably in Toronto. But still, like I said, you can still work as an accountant and finance for different industry, like in the mining industry and energy industry, but just not like really actually finance industry that you want to go into. So in conclusions, if you have any doubt about the job market in Saskatoon, I hope this video is going to clear your doubt. And if you don't have a job right now, I wish that you're going to get a job really soon. Just keep applying and stay positive. Anything is possible. And I would like to say that I am very grateful for the people in the comments who always wish that I could get a job, and that being very supportive for the past months. And for the people in Saskatchewan who said welcome to Saskatchewan, you guys just proved my points that you are very nice and very sweet. So yes, thank you so much for your time, and I see you in the next video.